morning I'm thinking like, what if it did work? What if you took action and made it happen and started living inside of your purpose? What if it did work? Right now you can make the choice to never listen to that negative voice no more.
Which kind of leads into exactly what we wanted to talk about today, Omar. By the way, greetings, Omar. Let's see, it's beautiful there in the great Newark, New Jersey airport. Cross,
For
cross,
sure.
cross the is it the river, the Hudson River, or the harbor from New York City?
I think it's the river. I think it's the same one that Sully landed the plane on.
Okay, very cool.
But
I've been there.
geography is not my strong suit.
I've been there once or twice through that airport. Usually gets delayed.
Oh my gosh, it took an hour just to get through TSA.
Oh my gosh. So as we're going through our week, Omar, I kind of want to throw it out there. We're trying to help people have a successful 2024. We've got them in the mindset. We've got them in the letting go of the past. We've done all the groundwork. But I would venture to say, and I don't think it's much of a risk, that sometimes we just need to be able to skill up. Like we may have a goal or a dream, but we don't have the skills to get us there. We don't have the vehicle to get us there. And personal development and education, I think, are vital pieces of the puzzle for success. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, for sure. The fastest way to get to point A to point B is scaling. And what a lot of people don't understand is, they're focused on the cost. Oh my gosh, that book cost $20. Oh my gosh, that program cost me $1,000, or that seminar cost me $5,000. But that's living in scarcity. They never ask themselves, what's it going to cost me by not going to the seminar, by not investing in myself? You're either growing or you're dying. And a lot of people, they don't realize that just staying the same, you're dying. So many people, well, I don't need to learn anything. I graduated college, and it's like, wow, congratulations. I had that mindset for a little while, and it didn't get me anywhere. So you have to scaling or reinvesting in yourself and personal development and programs it's not about the cost, because money comes and goes. Money, you can always make more, but by saving time, that's the most valuable resource.
Oh yeah, I would say that. And for me, there's multiple ways that you can skill up. There's multiple ways that you can learn. I think about, and I'm going to plug. Sorry, you're on here for free. You're going to get a plug. I mean, you and I both have books that could help somebody skill up in their various areas, and they're not expensive. It's not like you're paying for $1,000 course. I mean, I think you could buy both of them together for less than $30, and or you can go back to the old tried and trues, like old John Maxwell's 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Or you can go to the local freaking library. That's how I started my journey in personal development. I checked out Good to Great, and it took me 2 checkouts to get through it because I'm a slow reader at times. So I feel like the people who don't improve, don't invest, they're just copping out. They're just making excuses. And then they become the person that's like, well, this cards are stacked against me, or whatever. And the successful people that I've seen, they do exactly what you said. They not only invest in themselves, they invest for themselves and for their teams. We have a lot of business owners in our circles, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen them go, well, I'm not going to pay to send my people to that. They'll just take what they learned and go to a different company. Well, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, right? It's like, well, if they're, oh, I'm going to improve my person so he can leave me. And it's like, are you that crappy of a boss that if somebody gets a better, it just doesn't compute. It's like you said, it's scarcity mindset.
Well, I mean, it's a twofold thing. Don't you want your employees, don't you want your team to grow and be better? And yeah, it puts more money in your bottom line. Now, if you're saying, well, they're going to leave me, you're going to have to ask yourself, everybody leaves, but if you're focused on people leaving you, maybe it's the culture, maybe it's the environment, maybe it's you. So
Maybe you need to do some more in the personal development field, right?
exactly.
I would say there's a other side to the same coin though, and that is the professional seminar attendee, the person who goes and learns and learns and learns and can teach every course that's out there, but they've implemented zero of it. I like to say applied knowledge is power, not knowledge is power. And I've seen a ton of these people. I go, you know, we're in Nashville. We're like in the personal development mecca. There's a friggin', you know, seminar every other day, it seems like in this area. And the ones that I've gone to, I've seen the similar people like that. It's their job to keep going to all these different events. And to me, that's as wasteful as not going at all if you don't use what you've learned.
Well, if you're not going to implement anything, I mean, that's even worse than the people that stream all day, the people that checked out, because at least they're enjoying themselves. And very rarely has there ever been a book or a personal business development seminar that like, oh my God, this is way better than going to Vegas. Oh my God, this is way better than streaming. I
Right.
mean, people go and they don't implement because they're getting their dopamine fix. They're no different than the person watching YouTube videos. They're no different than the TikToker. They're there because they're surrounded by a room full of people that want more, that believe in more, that want to do more. But yeah, if you're gonna firewalk or if you're gonna do the plunge pool, if you're gonna grab all this knowledge that you're not gonna implement, I mean, what are you, the Library of Congress?
And you bring up a really good point of not in the same vein, but you know, there's so much out there that you can consume that will help move the needle in your life. I mean, if you're a streamer, you know, every smart TV has YouTube attached. And even if it doesn't, you know, Netflix has some great documentaries and things. Amazon Prime has some great things that will help you improve without you feeling like you've got to go, you know, like we said, spend, you know, $9.99 and go spend a day in a hotel seminar room. You know, there's plenty out there. Why do you think people just don't engage in that? You know, is it a mindset of I've learned enough, or do you think that they're afraid that they're going to learn something and not be able to follow it through?
Defeated. So many people are defeated. So many people are broken. So many people feel it's all about luck. So many people feel they got the bad cards, or you know, Mercury is a retrograde. They don't want to fly because they're fearful. They're fearful of a lot of things. Really, they're fearful of, it's not fearful of success. It's fearful of being judged by others, whether you do find success or you don't. But if I make $1 million and I become a jerk, because you know everybody has this misconception that from Hollywood and from friends that once you make money, it's you become successful. You start wearing a monocle and you become like Dr. Evil.
Yeah, and you know, to talk about money for a second, because you know, when you say success, you know, money obviously is like top of mind. It's not the only indicator, but it is one of the indicators. And my opinion of money is that it's a magnifying glass. That it will magnify whatever it is that's in your heart, that whatever type of person you are. If you're a if you're a very generous person, a giving person, a person who sacrifices for others, you're just going to do that in greater measure the more financially successful you are. If you're a jerk and you're a miser and you know, you're cheap, guess what? You're going to be a bigger jerk, a bigger miser, a bigger cheapskate once you become financially successful. So, you know, for me, that's always been the stupid cop out is like, oh, well, you've changed. Well, I would say not necessarily that I've changed. You're just seeing more of who I am at my core because I have the ability to present that more if I have more resources to do so.
You know, the biggest cop out too is not only that, but oh my gosh, what am I going to get out of it? The only person that makes money is the organizer, the person hosting the event, the Anthony Robbins, the Grant Cardones. The, and it's like I can't. How am I going to do that? I'm only going to make them wealthy. Or another one I love to hear is simply, I don't have enough money. I don't have the money to do that, but yet they have enough money to go out to eat all the time. They've got enough money to pay the $50 pizza. They have enough to go to Nashville or to South Beach or whatever and blow a lot of money going out and drinking.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, we keep getting back to the same thing, but it's, you know, every one of our lives has gotten back to the same basic premise, and that is setting your priorities and disciplining yourself to stick to those priorities. And you know, skilling up, you know, learning something new, getting into a bigger room, all of those things take discipline. You can say it's a priority, but until you put, like you said, the money where your mouth is and your butt in the seat and, or, you know, your eyes in the book, you really haven't done anything. It's just, you know, pie in the sky stuff. And, you know, I don't know who's watching this, but you know, we've put it into our groups where we're streaming it to our own circle of friends. Look, guys, don't complain about where you are in this life if you're not willing to sacrifice a little bit and be disciplined to moving. I hate using moving the needle. That's so 1996, but moving the needle in your life for your life, right? I mean, good Lord, it gets uncomfortable.
Vanilla Ice called. There's CDs now, or there's not even CDs. That's not 1996, dude. 96 was CDs.
Oh, funny story. I came across some old audio tapes of some seminars, some Zig Ziglar stuff that at the newspaper when I was there a couple months ago, and it was like, holy cow, yeah. And I've heard, I can't tell you how many people that are successful now that talk about like some tape set that they had back in the day.
Well, he's one of the granddaddies of them all. I mean, his words still resonate because it all starts with the mindset. It all starts with taking action. It all starts with believing in yourself. It all starts with being such a selfish dick and help out other people. You know, once you find success or you're looking for success, help people. Don't look at everybody like a checking account.
Oh, I agree.
That's a horrible way to live.
And what I've learned too lately, and I think I even brought this up maybe Tuesday. When I travel and drive, I'll plug on YouTube videos of people I like to hear from, because I just can't make myself do it in the office. I've got too many distractions. But when you're on the road, it's like a mobile university. You can learn so much. But what I'm finding is that the people of today that are doing seminars are basically regurgitating what I heard 25 years ago. They're just presenting it in a today kind of way. And it's always the golden rule. It's always, you help people reach their dreams, you can reach your dreams. It's always, give more value than you take in payment. I mean, the principles have not changed, but sometimes, and I'll defer to you on this too. Sometimes we got to hear it from a different voice before it'll sink in.
Oh, definitely. You have to listen. You will take it in more if it's someone you connect, someone you believe in, someone you either inspire to be, or someone you just ultimately like. Do you like that person? Nobody out there is like some brand new age guru that has the key to curing cancer and the fountain of youth. Ponce de Leon tried to find it. It's not out there.
Along those lines, I mean, my brain's like going back to like 2012 when like Seth Godin was like the granddaddy of everything, because he had a blog that people were reading, and I read he'd write like 50-page books and sell 1 million copies of them, and I would read them and really get a lot out of them. Who today? Let's, yeah, I don't want to take up a lot of your time in the airport and such. I don't know when you fly out, but you obviously got a little bit ahead of you. But what if, obviously, Old Dogs New Tricks and What If It Did Work and The Vacation CEO are recommended reading for anybody who's watching this. But other than us, and yes, we want you to follow us. We want you to hang on every word we say, because we do want to bring you value. But what are some books or people that, if you were saying, hey, I want to be successful over the next 12 months, who would you recommend?
Zig Ziglar, definitely Zig Ziglar. And I am a licensed coach, but it's not because of that. I actually got the opportunity of seeing him live many moons ago. What a great guy. To be in service up to all the way till the day he died. He's great. Uh, if you're just like an everyday looking guy, Brendan Burchard,
Mm.
uh, Anthony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within, definitely. GC, Grant Cardone, especially if it's about selling yourself, being a better person. Personal development, Trent Shelton. He's a new guy that's out there. It's been
I
out there
like
for a
Trent a
few
lot.
years.
I've been following him on social media, and he's been very intentional and profound with what he's been posting lately. He's got a real heart for the hurting, is a good way to put it.
And his message resonates because everybody has had loss, a loss of a parent, a loss of a spouse, divorce, heart heartbreak. Everybody hurts, and that's something that we've all been there. And his videos, his books, his message. There's been times in my life that, well, going through a bad breakup and found him. So yeah, no, there's just the thing is these are all great books, but it's like our books. If you're just going to read it and you're not going to implement it, our books, these books, none of it works.
Yeah,
You
I
work.
I would agree with that. For me, let's see, definitely book wise. Well, we'll start with business books. I'm a huge Good to Great fan, and Built to Last. That is for organizational. For leadership, just about anything by Maxwell. Although don't read a bunch of John Maxwell books in a row, because you'll see his pattern and you'll figure out that it'll mess with you. It won't be as awe inspiring if you read a whole bunch in a row. And probably, for just in general, and take it with what you will, but anything in the Bible, because the principles we talked yesterday about, we were meant for greatness. And, I'm not going to shy away from my faith. I believe Jesus came to give us life and life more abundantly, and how we define abundantly is up to us. I don't think we should get into comparison of saying, well, I don't deserve this because kids in Africa don't have shoes. But I believe that it's a very personal thing. And I think that if you begin to follow the precepts, and oh, by the way, things like the golden rule come straight out of the big book there. I think that's a valuable tool. If you want to follow people, if you can handle his language when he gets on stage, I think Gary Vaynerchuk is a very forward-thinking individual, and I think that you can gain a lot of insight from him. But again, it's all about what you're wanting to accomplish. I love Anthony Robbins, by the way. I love Anthony better in interviews than on stage, just because I think he's a little bit more profound when he's being asked the right questions. So I think that in all of it, there's not a single thing here that we've mentioned that cannot be checked out at a local library, or B, a video found on YouTube that doesn't cost you a cent. So when we're talking about investing in yourself, the threshold's really, really, really low.
When it comes to investing, people go to like the extreme, like, oh, it costs to hire Anthony Robbins to be your personal coach, $1 million and 10% whatever you gained from the year before. Well, yeah, that's Anthony Robbins. Not many people can afford that. or to have Grant Cardone $100,000 for like 3 coaching sessions a year in person. No, but that's the extreme people go to. But
Right.
all these people have free material. There's coaches, there's entrepreneurs. I mean, you and I have a vast amount of years being an owner, going through pandemics, going through market corrections, going through literal crashes. But yet, you know, people have to decide for themselves. Is it the same old thing? Aren't you tired of living and expecting something different, or expecting someone to be your own hero? Nobody's going to be your own hero. That has to be yourself.
Yeah. And I would, as we tend to close out here, I think it's about to, I think we could beat this horse until it was beyond dead. I think we've made our point, but I would leave everybody with this, and that is, if you want 2024 to be better than 2023 is, you're going to have to do something different than you did in 2023. And, you know, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And I think the first step is awakening yourself to what's possible, and greatest way to do that is to get material, exposure, and environment to those people that are actually doing something. Then you begin to believe that you can do it. Then you begin to get the skills to take control of it. And then you can take the action to do it. If you don't do those things, you're going to be sitting here this time next year going, well, I hope 2025 is the new 2024.
Well, you know, or they can just blame 2020. 2020 was going to be their year.
Yeah, that's the excuse for everything. I don't think the people at Zoom blame 2020 for any bad things.
Well, it's crazy because, you know, I love the simple fact that everybody used the excuse that they had more time, they'd lose weight, they'd write a book, they would start a business, they would do all that. Uncle Sam and all the countries in the world pretty much gave them, you know, 100 days to do that.
And they gained the COVID-20 instead of losing the COVID-20.
Exactly. So much for war and peace that everybody's gonna write. You know?
So, well, my friend, you have a safe trip. Thank you so much for being on again today. Tomorrow we are going to wrap up our free week, and we're gonna finish the free week with a free offer. Imagine that. We're gonna give something away for free and not ask you for your checkbook. But tomorrow we will talk about building meaningful connections, fostering and cultivating those connections to where there's wins. Because it doesn't have to be win-lose. Everybody can win.
No, man. And Dave, that's my biggest thing. Is there's so many fake prophets, so many mentors, so many gurus out there that just have this mental, this feeling of, I win if you break even, or who cares what you have. There's no win-lose. We can live in a world where it's win-win for everybody.
Absolutely. So thank you, my friend. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Back at 6, by the way, unless something comes up. Keep a watch on our social media.
7 Eastern Standard.
Oh, yeah, 7 Eastern. We'll see.
4 Pacific.
All right, guys.
All right. Take care.
I'm thinking like, what if it did work? What if you took action and made it happen and started living inside of your purpose? What if it did work? Right now you can make the choice to never listen to that negative voice no more. Thinking like, what if it did work? What if you took action and made it happen and started living inside of your purpose? What if it did work? Right now you can make the choice to never listen to